There are two major players when it comes to personality types: introversion and extroversion. Where you sit on this temperament scale can influence what type of work you do, what friends you have, what hobbies you like, how much exercise you do, and how good you are as a leader, and the likeliness of you asking what if. Since we are all uniquely complex human beings, it's unlikely that you are either completely extroverted or completely introverted. Nonetheless, it might be useful for you to know where you do fit on this scale, so that you can identify strategies for success that better suit your personality. Since 1 in 2 or 3 of us are introverts, you are likely to either be working with, be married to, or raising an introvert. A basic understanding of personality will help you become a better leader, better parent, better husband or wife. Our cultural value system has placed a high emphasis on the extrovert ideal. Self-help books going back centuries have tried to teach us how to influence people, how to make friends, how to present ourselves better, how to make people like us instantly, deeming introversion a second-class personality trait. Even though there is zero correlation between gift of the gab and great ideas, I do not wish to demonise or glorify one personality over the other, but to level the playing field. Quiet simply does not get the credit it deserves. We think we encourage individuality, but we don't. It's impossible to say, this is what extroverts do and this is what introverts do, just like it's impossible to say all introverts are shy, which they are not. Yes, a greater percentage of introverts are shy than extroverts, but an extrovert too can experience shyness. If you're an introvert, you are more likely to listen than talk, express yourself in writing better, be more in tune with your thoughts and feelings and what things mean, have a strong conscience and dislike small talk. Extroverts may prefer to talk rather than listen, be more assertive, talk faster, throw themselves into activities. An extrovert may need to recharge in a social setting, and an introvert may need to recharge in solitude. The only clear definition most psychologists can agree on is that the amount of stimulation that is required by you to perform at your optimum level relates to how extroverted or introverted you are. As a child, Brandon's parents would always apologise to people for his quietness. He learned to think that quiet was undesirable. School reports would always say, Brandon is a likeable, quiet boy who needs to show more confidence in group discussions. As he grew older, he started to believe that there was something wrong with him, and his shyness was relabelled as ignorance when he became a teenager. Why couldn't he be like everybody else expected him to be? Confident, more sociable, and calm in the spotlight. But had anybody stopped to consider that he wasn't shy, just overstimulated? But his teachers, ignorant to his personality with their extrovert values, through no fault of their own, only made him feel worse. With the classroom environment set up for 100% group learning, and no time for individual reflection and contemplation. What if one of his teachers actually appreciated his introvert personality type, and in his report said, whilst Brandon prefers a quiet environment and learns and works best in an individual setting, Brandon should where possible try to stretch his ability in the group setting as much as he can. Just like an elastic band, he doesn't have to change who he is, but stretch his abilities as far as he is able to. Brandon should never lose sight of the unique powers he possesses, like his superior ability to concentrate, reflect, and think alone about what things mean. What if his parents had not apologised for his shyness and said once he feels comfortable with you, he's the most conscientious and empathetic person you will ever meet? Yeah, just what if? What if that had happened? What if, as a teenager, he was encouraged to think alone and work on his thinking skills, as a scientist or mathematician? What if his so-called ignorance had been perceived as a highly reactive amygdala, not a social anxiety disorder? Oh wait, yeah that's right, that did happen once. To a boy called Albert Einstein? Others who also saw their personality as an advantage, not a second-class trait, were Steve Jobs, Isaac Newton, Bill Gates, Steven Spielberg, and J.K. Rowling. Without introverts, we would never have had Google, Apple iPad, Harry Potter, Peter Pan, E.T., and the theory of relativity.